Since most married women don't want sex, couldn't they at least give their husband a BJ or a hand job? I'd like to see you make a video on that. And my question is should husbands ask for these? So really good question. And right off the bat, yes, it is very, very reasonable. The problem is in most women not wanting sex, the angle I'd like to take here in talking to the men and a constant message on the channel is unfortunately women being disinterested in sex after marriage and withholding sex is part of what women do in marriage. Again, on a spectrum. So it's important for good men to remember, as I often say, you did not get the wrong wife. You married a woman. And unfortunately, if your wife isn't willing to compromise and do other sexual acts, if she is not interested in sexual intercourse and isn't willing to meet you on common ground and do other things in the bedroom, then you want to know there's not much you can do to get her to change that and get her to re-engage or get her to be willing to do other sexual acts like a hand job or a BJ. And that's the unfortunate reality of marriage and how women show up. And the difficult part for a good man, and I see these comments all the time on my videos, is oftentimes a man will comment on a video and says, if your wife has started withholding sex, you need to leave. It's over. Run. Get out of the marriage. It's just really bad advice because it's not a good man's nature. For some good men, yes, they are recognizing based on their values that they don't want to stay in a marriage or a relationship where their wife is withholding sex or treating them poorly in other ways that we use in manipulating and emasculating good men. But the truth is, and what I most experience in talking with good men and reading through your comments on the channel, that leaving isn't an option because their values align most with staying. So for good men who have wives who have stopped having sex, are not interested in sex, are not willing to compromise and do other sexual acts to make their husbands important and show a willingness to work with them in that way, a good man is still going to stay. And the advice from different men or either the manosphere of you just need to get out, it's over, I need to run, that's not good advice to a lot of good men, because that's not what they're going to do. So what good men have to be able to do is to accept the reality. If your wife has withdrawn from sex and she's not willing to do other things in the bedroom to prioritize you in that way, you have to take responsibility for your choice that you're choosing to stay. Otherwise, you will be a victim to her withholding of sex, and it will continue to crush you. And I'm not saying that's an easy path. It is a embrace the suck path. But when you take responsibility for your choice and you use it to strengthen yourself, that's how you manage and navigate the relationship if your wife is not willing to budge and isn't going to re-engage in any way in the bedroom. I want to talk to the women a little bit in this as well, that if you're a woman watching and you're not here to throw stones or are upset by the message, but you're here trying to learn and you are open-minded and recognize through what I talk about on the channel that you do withhold sex, and that's not the woman you want to be, and you realize I have shut down to sex. I know it's not healthy for me in that, or my marriage, or my husband, and you're working to open back up and step back in, then a BJ or a hand job is a really, really good stepping stone to re-engage in the bedroom. Because what happens for us as women, and as a woman who was shut down to sex for a period of time in my marriage, trying to re-engage and have regular sex and open up to it is an overwhelming step to take when you look at the whole picture all at once, which works against us when we get overwhelmed by that. And we're telling, okay, I've got to open back up. So I need to re-engage this much. And I need to do all these things that I stopped doing in the bedroom with my husband. What we do to ourselves in that is overwhelm and effectively shut ourselves down to sex even more. So doing other sexual acts in the bedroom is a good stepping stone to re-engage, to minimize the pressure and overwhelm you're putting on yourself. And your husband, if, as a good man, will be appreciative that you're taking steps to re-engage. You will actually find that you enjoy those acts and that it can make it fun again in the bedroom, and they're not scary. So they're a good stepping stone. Also, to women who are still having sex, but have maybe gotten rigid and stopped exploring in the bedroom or stopped doing things maybe you did when you were dating, it's good to know and hope that women can know that your husband still likes other sexual acts like a BJ or a hand job. It's something he appreciates and is fun. And if we slow down and we're honest with ourselves, we enjoy those things too. And not to be too crude using the statement I use sometimes in talking about sex, but it's a good way to take the stick out and have some fun and get outside your comfort zone. Because as women, we get into a huge comfort zone around sex and stop exploring, stop doing other things in the bedroom, and again, become very rigid and might only know we can do it this way and this way only. That's not very much fun for us or for our husbands. And it's very, 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 very limiting view. So it's good to open back up and explore a little or re-engage with things you used to do, maybe when you were dating, and have fun in that again. And your husband will really appreciate that.